I really do not want to talk about this right now. Yeah, it's that bad. It's really bad. Don't see it. It doesn't matter what I say, you're probably not going to see it anyway. The trailers were crap. It's really bad. I mean, this is minor spoilers, I guess, but there's a scene where Cyclops and a couple of other people go to a mall, and they're watching episode 5, or no, episode 6. Star Wars episode 6. And they all agree that the third one in the series is the worst. Man, if that doesn't say anything about this movie. You know, I was hoping these movies would follow Fast and Furious logic. You know, first 2 are okay, and then they're bad until 6, when it sort of hits its stride. This is 6. They have not hit their stride. Let's count Wolverine and X-Men Origins Wolverine as... You know what, screw it. I'm talking about something else. I want a hopeful Superman movie. Yeah, I do. I said it. I want a hopeful Superman movie. I want a Superman movie where there was hope in the air. Where it's nice. Where it looks like it's gonna be fun. I don't know. Just... Okay. I'm gonna float a Superman movie to you. Okay. Right now, there has not been a Superman movie with a nice Superman who is a good person since Christopher Reeves in late 70s. I'm gonna say 77, but it's not. It's probably 78. But I want a hopeful Superman movie. So the movie would start out, and it's just like a minute-long origin, just point of view Superman, just like the Batman Superman Public Enemies, or World's Finest, if you'd like to call it that. Them flying off, just point of view shot from the comics of him being put in the little rocket and being sent off, and then he goes to Earth, and you see Mom and Pa can't open the rocket, and he climbs out. I want that the first minute of the movie. It's just that. And then it skips ahead, as the opening credits are going, it skips ahead to, I don't know, him lifting a tractor, him in college, maybe, him running against a train, him at the Daily Bugle. A job application for the Daily Bugle. And then, while the opening credits are still going, it establishes him as Superman. Just like newspaper clippings of opening scene, Clark Kent is waking up, and an alarm clock goes off. Clark Kent wakes up. He turns on the TV. He's making breakfast or whatever. Giant robot attacking the city. He turns off the television, gets into a Superman outfit, rushes off. Just instantly. Here's giant robot attacking the city, rushes off instantly. Finds the giant robot, just flies through it. Takes it down, tries to take it away. He takes it up to get it away from civilians, because that's what Superman would do. And then he lets it zaps them with a laser, and they fall back to Earth. Right before it hits the ground, Superman catches it so it doesn't fall on him. He evacuates all the people under it, and then he punches it, uppercuts it. The robot lands a few feet away in the block, down the street, and it gets up and it's like, Superman, you don't stand a chance. I am a giant robot sent to kill you. Superman's like, who sent you? The robot just shuts up. So Superman rips off the robot's legs. Just rips off one of its legs, and I don't know, he rips off one of its legs, and he uses X-ray vision, he punches into it, and he rips a guy out. I mean, he doesn't kill the guy, but he takes him out of the robot. So Superman lands, talks to the guy, hands the guy over to the police, right, and everything's good. Then a crowd of people run up to him. Superman, you're so awesome. He says hi to a few people. Lois Lane comes up. He's like, can I ask a few questions? Superman winks at her. She sort of smiles, and he flies off. Then Clark gets to the office, and I want to go through his day where there's scenes with him working at the office, and then, like, he'll hear something, and he'll just rush off, and he'll be back within minutes, and it's just, like, him helping people. He hears a fire over the news, so you see Clark leave his desk, Lois Lane comes by, I don't know, maybe she's like, oh, Clark's not here, and then she walks off, and then, bam, a minute or two later, Superman's back. He stopped a fire, because he does that sort of stuff. That would be really nice of him. And I just want to go through his day and establish that this is a nice Superman. This is a sweet Superman. This is, like, a nice guy. This is his job. He helps people. The city loves him for it. Everybody thinks he's a hero. And this would establish what kind of Superman we have, that Superman is already established, and that he's doing his job. Next day, you see, same shot of feet getting an alarm going off, but this time it's in a penthouse apartment. Muscled hand slaps the alarm clock. It turns off. Lex Luthor gets out of bed. You see him go downstairs. It's really early in the morning. He goes downstairs. He has a protein shake or something, and he starts working out. This is a buff Lex Luthor. He's really tall, really handsome. He's the confident, smart, best guy in the world. His assistant walks next to him. He gets done working out. His assistant comes next to him. He puts on his suit. He showers. She's there with a tablet or whatever, organizing his meeting, telling him what's going on today. He gets out and he says, what happened with the robot? Did he fall for it? She goes, yeah, and our IT guys came and they swept it under the rug. They can't track the robot to us. Lex Luthor goes, okay, put it in the file. She does that. She puts it in a file marked Superman, which is she's carrying with her for some reason. Lex Luthor continues to go through his day. Same basic idea. This is Lex Luthor. He's a businessman. Everything's going right. We don't know why he's researching Superman. And yeah, this is to show what kind of Lex Luthor we have, etc., etc. He's a tall, empowering, confident businessman. I want a scene in the middle of the day where Lex Luthor is he's in his office, and it's like, your 2 o'clock is here, so his 2 o'clock walks in, and it's a guy, and the guy's like, hi, I have this great idea for this thing, and Lex Luthor's like, I'm sorry, I just bought your company, and the guy's like, oh, wow, that sucks, and Lex is like, I'm a cool, confident businessman. I just bought your company. Your whole thing belongs to us. I'm sorry I just ruined your life. And the guy runs out. And Lex is like, I'm an asshole. But I want another scene after that where he's giving a speech to a bunch of people. And, I don't know, Lois Lane is there. And he's a much different person. He's a nice guy. He's pretending on an act that he's a nice guy. I want this to show what kind of Lex Luthor we have. And then, at the end of Lex Luthor's day, you see him go home, and you see him tap the thing on the door, top penthouse suite, and he taps the thing on the top of the door, and there's an elevator going down to an underground basement where he's got all this stuff on Superman. Just a bunch of shit on Superman. And he's like, oh, and you're like, oh, shit, this guy knows a lot. And then it zooms out, and you see the power armor in the background. But, Lex Luthor calls his assistant, and he's like, put plan B into effect. Assistant's like, okay, I will do that. Cut to the next day. Superman wakes up, he stops the alarm clock, he gets out of bed, he makes breakfast, he goes to work. At about noon, news flash. Somebody in the middle of the city is robbing a bank, and they are bulletproof. So Superman comes down, and he's like, hey, yo, dude, stop. You need to stop, please. And the guy's like, there you are. And Superman's like, whoa, what, me? Huh? Because nobody's challenged Superman yet. It's just been small criminals. So, the man walks towards Superman, and he decks him. He punches him in the face, and Superman goes flying. And he's like, whoa, what the heck? That hurt a lot. And the man walks towards him, and Superman punches the guy. He just flies at him. He's giving him everything. He's going at super speed, which is, like 5 times, or let's say twice as fast as a normal human can go. He's punching him super hard, and he's just punching the guy over and over and over again. And the guy goes flying backwards into a wall, and Superman punches him through the wall into the city, and nothing happens. And the guy just gets up, and he starts walking towards Superman, and his skin's sort of torn up, and it's Metallo. The guy's walking, Metallo. He's slowly walking towards Superman. He's pissed as hell. And then he opens up his chest, and Superman collapses. It's the worst feeling he's ever heard. It's amazing. He feels powerless. So Metallo decks him, and he just starts kicking him. And he kicks him, and he picks him up, and he throws it into a building. And Superman is powerless to stop him, because Superman doesn't have any powers. It's kryptonite. So Metallo runs on kryptonite, for those of you who don't know. His heart is kryptonite. And Metallo's, like, beating the shit out of Superman. And then he picks him up, throws him into a building. The building collapses on him. And police perimeter made sure everybody was out of the building. No one was killed, thank God. But Lois Lane walks over, and Metallo just jumps away. He leaps away. He leaps miles away. This is the first time Superman's ever been beaten. This is amazing. Metallo thinks he's dead, but this is just spectacular. Superman's like, oh shit, I'm like totally dead and stuff, and everybody else is like, did you see that? That guy beat Superman. Oh my gosh, this is weird. So Superman goes home. He doesn't know what to do. And the next day, Clark wakes up, and he feels like shit. He is in terrible shape. He's like, mate, Metallo's still out there. What am I gonna do? I mean, this is terrible. What am I gonna do? And he gets out of bed, and his phone rings. And he's like, well, this is weird. And Lex Luthor calls him. And he's like, so, Mr. Kent, you're the one who writes all these articles about Superman. I would very much like to talk to him. And Clark's like, oh, okay, I can give him a message. And Lex is like, no, it's fine. Just give me a number I can reach him by. So Clark is like, well, I guess. And he gives a phone number, and it's a burner phone. He got to call Lois or whatever. And he's like, this is my phone number. And Luthor's like, oh, well, that's okay. Thank you, Mr. Kent. Also, I've just made a large donation to a children's hospital in your name, because I'm rich. So Clark's like, thanks, and whatever. And Luthor hangs up, and later that day, Luthor calls Superman. Superman's like, Luthor, hello. Clark told me you'd be calling. And Luthor said, hello, Superman. Because they haven't fought each other yet. Superman has only been fighting petty crime and giant robots. He's never met anyone who can physically match him yet. Luthor's like, hello, Superman. I'd like you to come by my office later today. I'd just like to talk to you about some stuff. So Superman comes by Luthor's office, and Luthor really wants Superman to be his friend, but Superman knows something's just not right about Luthor. So they get into conversing, and Luthor's like, well, I heard you beat this. You got beat. I want you to work for me. I will teach you, and I will give you all these special techniques. I will have the best fighters in the world come here to train you. They will help you. They will guide you. They will be nice people. I will mentor you. I will make you smarter, and we can research you together. And Superman's like, okay, this is a good idea. I really like this. So Luthor's like, okay. And they shake on it, and Luthor shows him the amazing facility, and Luthor says, come in next Monday. I will give you a house on the facility, on the LexCorp property. I will pay for everything. Superman's like, no, I'm fine, thank you. They're like, okay, they're friends. Superman's like, I'm going to follow this guy. This guy is going to teach me how to be a better superhero so I can beat guys like Metallo, because he's kind of feeling insecure that he got beat by Metallo. And they're friends. Superman doesn't know why Lex Luthor is, that Lex Luthor caused the giant robot and caused Metallo, but they're friends. So, Luthor trains Superman, and there's a great montage or whatever you want to do of Luthor training Superman. And they're working together, and everything's going out right, and Superman's really feeling he's getting better. And then there was a day, and this is like, they're working together, Superman's getting better at stuff, he's there's less civilian casualties every time he gets in a fight, because he knows what to do. LexCorp is behind him, Superman's sponsoring Lex Luthor, everything's working out great. And then Metallo shows back up. And Superman flies in, Metallo opens his kryptonite heart, and Superman laser visions it away. He just explodes the kryptonite heart. He explodes it with his laser vision from far away where the radiation can't hurt him. Then he flies in and he stops Metallo. And everyone cheers. Superman beat him with the help of Lex Luthor. Lex is calling the shots, telling him what to do. Everything's working out. So, Superman comes back to the facility and he's like, Lex, I beat this guy. And Lex is like, yeah, nice job. So, Superman hands over Metallo to Lex and everybody's happy. So, Superman's like, yeah, I'm doing great. And Lex is like, yeah, you're doing great. We're friends. We're really, really great chums. And they're just hanging out. They're doing great. So, Superman goes to bed that night in LexCorp because he has a room in LexCorp, and LexCorp is researching him, and the top floor of LexCorp is Lex's room, Lex's penthouse. So, Superman wakes up in the middle of the night. He's not sure he did the right thing with Metallo. He feels like he's getting better, but he's not sure. He wonders if he should really sponsor LexCorp. So, he flies up to the top floor of Lex's penthouse. He goes to Lex's penthouse. No one's there. Superman's like, well, that's weird. So he x-rays the room. No one's there. So he x-rays the building. And there's a bunch of lead under it. So someone wanted to make it so that Superman couldn't see under it. So Superman flies down, and he flies into LexCorp, and he takes the elevator down. He sees an elevator shaft from Lex's room down, so he takes the elevator shaft down to this place. And he walks in, and it's a bioengineering building. And then he sees that Lex has been cloning him. And he has no idea why. So Lex says, Superman, we can talk about this. Come on up to my penthouse. I'll tell you all about it. So Superman flies up to the top floor, and Lex gets up to the top floor, and they'll meet. One outside the room, one inside. I'll let you guess which is which. And Lex says to him, I hate you. I really do. And Superman says, why? I thought we were friends. I thought we were getting along well. I thought you were training me. We were doing good. And Lex says, you are an alien. And that scares the shit out of me. And Superman goes, what? And Lex goes, you came from a different planet. And Superman's like, what? What's going on? Mom, Pa, Kent never told me this. They just told me I know. They told me they found me in a field. I didn't know I was an alien. I thought I was maybe a genetic experiment. Or, I don't know. And Lex is like, you're an alien. That scares the shit out of me. 5 years ago, Superman, something very bad happened. And it resulted in you killing my wife. Superman's like, what? I would never kill your wife. What? Huh? Why? How would I kill your wife? And Lex Luthor is like, 5 years ago, when you were stopping petty criminals, you deflected a bullet, and it hit my wife, and she died. And Superman's like, really? I did? And Lex is like, yes. you killed my wife, Superman. Superman's like, I'm sorry, I did not mean to. I stopped. I don't know what's wrong. It was an accident. Lex, I'm sorry, you can't direct your hatred at me for an accident like that. And Lex is like, yeah, I can. It's your fault. You did it. Do you know what we've been making? We've been cloning you, Superman. We've been cloning you down there. Superman's like, what? Shit, Lex, come on. What? We can talk through this. Lex is like, we've been making a clone of you. Send up Clone Z. Project B0. Superman's like, what, Lex? What's going on? And then they hear a rumble. And they're like, over the PA you hear, Luthor, we've succeeded. Oh, shit. And the PA just cuts out. Luthor's like, Superman, you don't understand. This is bad. And then Bizarro comes through. He just tears through the bottom floors of the building and he says, Luthor, you created me. And Superman's like, damn, we spliced your DNA with mine so that he'd be more obedient. Damn, I'm his father, and so are you. And Bizarro comes at Luthor, and Superman stops him. It's like, Luthor, you've done a lot of bad things. But this is the worst. So, Superman and Bizarro punch on for a bit, and then they, they fight, and Superman tries to take it out of the city, but Bizarro won't let him, and they're fighting, and Superman is saving people. He's, like, risking his ass to save people. It's the end of Man of Steel, only with a lot less city damage, and he's saving a lot more people. Like, Bizarro will throw a bus, and he'll catch the bus and set it down gently, let all the people out, and then beat Bizarro over the head with it. And he's like, Luthor, what was in the robot, Metallo? And Luthor's like, Kryptonite. Kryptonite was in the robot, Metallo. And Superman's like, I'm not going to be able to beat this guy without it. Luthor, I need your help. And Luthor's like, dude, I just said I hated you. And Superman's like, this guy's going to bring down the entire city unless you give me Kryptonite. So give me some Kryptonite right now, you fool. Luthor's like, please, seriously, watch the language. Actually, no, he's not. I'm not allowed to say am I? So Luthor's like, there's kryptonite in the basement. And Superman's like, God, do I have to touch it? And Superman's like, there's also a containment suit. Congratulations. We were working on it for him so we could beat you with the kryptonite. And Superman's like, oh, okay, well, how nice of you. So, Superman flies, grabs the containment suit, grabs the kryptonite, and he beats Bizarro. But Bizarro rips open the containment suit. So, Superman is standing there with kryptonite. Bizarro is there with the kryptonite. They're both collapsing on the ground. Nobody knows what to do. Then, somebody kicks the kryptonite away, and Superman zips at Bizarro, grabs him, and plows him through all of Metropolis, dodging buildings, just plowing him through Metropolis into the desert outside Metropolis. Like, not the desert, the area outside Metropolis. So he gets him into the area outside Metropolis and out into the bay, and he just punching him and beating him and beating him and beating him, and then he brings him straight up. He zips straight up into the air, brings Bizarro into space, then grabs him, turns him around, and just flings him back to Earth. Just goes straight back to Earth with him. This knocks out Bizarro. Everybody's happy. Superman flies him up to Luthor's office, chucks him through the window. Luthor, this is what you created. I don't usually get angry, but right now, I am very angry. This needs to stop. Goodbye, Luthor. Superman goes home, sits by side of fire, thinking, calls Lois, voicemail. Next day, Superman wakes up. Alarm goes off. Heads to the kitchen, makes breakfast, and over the TV you just hear giant robot attacking, or, I don't know, not robot, that would be ridiculous. I don't know, weird aliens attacking the city. And you just see a little bit of a smirk touch Superman's lips. I don't know, this is just my plot for a Superman movie. I want to see a hopeful Superman. I want to see a Superman that's not Zack Snyder's Superman. It's not a mean Superman. It's a nice guy. He is generally a good person. He's happy most of the time. He trusts people. I want to see that. Unfortunately, it looks like we're never going to get that, so I thought I'd make my own script for it and put it on YouTube so I couldn't be plagiarized. Okay, so I don't know. I think I would do more movie scripts more often, but I don't know. Well, I hope you like it. If you did, hit the like, subscribe, and new movies every weekend. Or new videos every weekend. I totally messed that up.